the way. Mac walked out on stage. At least that's what they're hoping for. They grabbed Bama quarterback Mac Jones after he slid right into their laps at 15. Look, the relationship between Bill Belichick and Nick Saban, no doubt, in play with this pick. We got NFL.com analyst
100%.
Bucky Brooks here to break everything down. Bucky, how should the rest of the NFL feel about the Patriots drafting Mac Jones?
Well, I definitely don't think they should be fearful about Mac Jones going to New England, because the difference is he won't have the supporting cast that he had at Alabama. I think of all the places, Mac Jones would have benefited the most going to San Francisco. And going to New England, look, man, when he walks in, there are going to be people that are going to have a tough time taking him serious when he's standing beside Cam Newton, because Cam Newton is an Adonis, a superstar, superhero in terms of stature and talent. When Mac Jones goes out there, it is going to look differently, because the ball isn't going to come off his hand like a high-level quarterback. He doesn't have the biggest arm. He obviously doesn't have necessarily the big athletic body. And so it's going to take him time to earn the respect of the locker room, because they're not just going to give it to him. And then when it comes to the Patriots, and I understand this move because systematically Mac Jones fits how they typically want to play. From an IQ standpoint, he has the ability to do all the stuff that they want to do at the line of scrimmage. But at the end of the day, they're going to need to upgrade the talent around him for him, the Patriots can do that. Because when we really think about the era that we saw with Tom Brady, there was only like a 4 or 5 year window where they had Randy Moss, Wes Welker, and those guys where they were able to get it done. Also the Rob Gronkowski, late Aaron Hernandez era. But outside of that, Tom Brady did it with a cast of nobodies on the outside. I don't know if Mac Jones can do that. And so they're going to have to get better at drafting skilled players and acquiring skilled players along the way. It's the truth. They haven't drafted any Pro Bowl
I just hate that narrative. I hate that narrative in New England that he didn't have guys. I mean, Randy Moss, Wes Welker, Julian Edelman. I mean, come on. Okay. Because, yeah, Tom Brady has some guys that can go and play at a high level. But I definitely understand what you're saying there. Look, Jenna, you said it in the open. Bill Belichick, Nick Saban's relationship, they're best friends. And Nick Saban was on the broadcast last night. They interviewed him, and he said, look, this is a great fit for Mac Jones because of what they're trying to do in New England. He's not a guy that's going to get out the pocket and make huge plays. He's a pocket quarterback, and he's a processor. That's who he is. And in New England, you have to have that for what Josh McDaniels does naturally, what he wants to do. Now, he's an offensive coordinator that can adapt. He's very creative. He's smart. He's savvy. The playbook changes from one week to another. But what they want to do is they want to run the same offense that they've been running for 20-something years. It hasn't changed. 11 personnel. You have Army. You have Navy. You have Army Brandon, Army, Eddie Royal. You have to be on your stuff in New England because there's so much they throw at you. In my 13 years in the National Football League, I was in 10 different schemes, Wilds, and the two that was tough for me, and I was a guy that never took notes. I would sit there and I would just pick it up. The recall was right there. There was two offenses that I had to study. I had to go home and I had to open up my notebook and I had to get little things like my mugs and, forks and knives and say, okay, this is the X receiver, this is the Z receiver, and walk it out. That was Coach Mark Trestman's offense in Chicago, was super sophisticated, and that was Josh McDaniels. And the reason why is because most people go out there and say 11 personnel. There's 3 wide receivers, 1 tight end, and 1 running back. Well, Josh McDaniels has 5 different 11 personnels, and then depending on the play, people are lining up all over the place, and then there's different motions, there's different shifts. So you have a guy like Mac Jones that can come in and play right away if they need him to. Now, Cam Newton is the guy. I think Cam Newton's going to have a good year, and he'll sit for a year, and then he'll come in and take over.
Ooh, I don't know if he's sitting for a year. As much as I love Cam Newton and I love the House of Athlete podcast, Cam Newton only threw for 8 touchdowns last year, and I complained about it. I tried to be an optimist, but I complained about it. And I wanted Jimmy G because I thought, as Brandon said, The Patriots offense is so complex, and we have an urgency to win now with Tom Brady bringing the mighty Buccaneers into Foxborough, that I wanted someone to take over week 1. And I have good news, Nick. I have a petition to convince myself that Mac Jones is that guy for the reasons contained. Henceforth, reason number 1, undefeated champion, went 13-0. You know who else was undefeated last time I checked? Let me think. The 2008 Patriots. He is the most accurate and most efficient ever. So I know, Zach Wilson this, and Justin Fields, and Trey Lance potential. We got the most accurate and most efficient quarterback ever? Was there a bunch of bums on the all-time list? Maybe it's just a bunch of small school guys who just had a big offense they could throw it around? Nope. The list has all pros on it. You got Kyler Murray on there. You got old Baker Mayfield on there. You got Tua on there. And at the top, Mac Jones. Sorry, better than Joe Burrow. Sorry, Bengals, we want our draft pick back. We weren't taping your practice. Reason number 3, big play threat. We had a bunch of little dink and dunks last year. Not old Mac Jones. Yeah, granted, he's throwing to the Heisman Trophy winner. But guess what? We loaded up on offense. We'll probably get a wide receiver in the second round. And finally, and Nick, this is the most important part, because if you're going to go to the greatest franchise in the history of all of professional sports, maybe even amateur sports if you count sort of Greco-Roman wrestling in, the 10s, Mac Jones knows that he's going to the greatest franchise ever. If we can put up his quote. What did he say? Glad you asked. This is what I wanted all along. It's like the end of You've Got Mail, Jenna. Mac Jones on joining the Patriots. I can't wait to play for the greatest franchise in NFL history. So, Nicholas, I know you thought I was upset about this, but I am over the moon and overjoyed to have our future franchise in the hands of Mac Jones.
I'm so happy for you, Wilds. And I'm glad that that's how you feel. Bucky said something interesting. He was like, the Patriot players aren't going to be impressed by Mac Jones when he's standing next to Cam Newton. So I'm going to do a little magic trick here. I'm going to take all of Wild's optimism and I'm going to make it disappear. Can we show what someone, like if there's like a shirt skins basketball game, what they might see when standing next to Cam Newton?
That's not right. Come on.
So listen, that doesn't mean he can't. That doesn't mean he can't play. It doesn't mean he can't play. I'm just saying, when Bucky's like standing next to Cam Newton, Cam is wringing out his shirt with sweat, showing his abs, and Mac Jones like, hey guys,
come on down,
how's it going? I always wanted to be here. I want to show another picture.
Yes.
This is not of Mac Jones. And don't show the picture just yet. There was a very interesting, during the NFL Network's draft coverage, they were like, hey, the Patriots last 6 years, they've drafted 42 players. One has made the Pro Bowl. It's the punter. And then they cut to the Patriots draft room. And I'm like, this is interesting. And I think we can show you that. Because it's the owner who's not picking players, Belichick, and some guy who I can't identify. Every other draft room we saw, Patriots on the bottom, there's the Jets on the top, the Lions were having a whole party in theirs. And I say that to say this.
Lions.
If you've been going it alone and not succeeding, maybe Belichick should invite a few more people into that room. And maybe someone in that room would have said, Bill, you're probably right that Mac Jones is going to fall to us. But we have the opportunity to move up 5 picks because we're hearing Dallas is open to trading their pick and get Justin Fields. And that's what they should have done. The Patriots should thank the NFL media that boosted Mac Jones' trade value by erroneously reporting he was going 3, because now that they got him at 15, it feels like, they got a steal, when 8 weeks ago he was projected to go in the 30s. And I'm not saying he can't be successful, but Justin Fields fell about as far as he ever was going to, and they could have traded up to get him. And I think that is going to be a mistake. They wouldn't have had to give up an extra first rounder the way Chicago did. Go ahead. I think they could have gone up and gotten him, Brandon.
No, but I'm really curious. I'm really trying to figure out, like, why, though, with this guy. Like, why, aren't people believing in this guy? Because all I hear is, well, he doesn't have the arm talent as the other guys. Well, there's plenty of quarterbacks in it. Tom Brady's arm talent isn't where it was, years ago. And I played with many quarterbacks that didn't have the arm talent. Josh McCown came in and had an amazing year, and we were #2 offense that year, in the National